Charlesease, everything you need to know when you need to know it. Subscribe, share, like, hit that bell button. That's that notification button, man. Listen, Rory and Maul went on the Math Hoffa show. My expert opinion. And the conversation came up, do Jadakiss got a classic album, man? Kiss the Game Goodbye, Kiss My Black Ass, and on and on. I'll forget the other ones. I wouldn't say far as solo shit, I wouldn't say Jada ain't got no classic album. Maybe the Locks, We Are the Streets, and they first joints, Living Off Experience. Those might be closer to classic albums. We Are the Streets and Living Off Experience. I think maybe one of those, one or maybe both, can be considered classic albums. When you thinking of classic albums, you thinking of that impact. Yeah. And when you hear them Jadakiss albums, they don't right off the back, they don't strike you. Nah, they ain't got that impact. Nah. That, I don't even think it's close that his solo albums is classics. It really ain't even close. It ain't close. Cause them joints don't hit like when you hear the Snoop Doggy Style. When you hear the Only Built for Cuban Links. You feel me? Get Rich or Die Trying, and on and on. Y'all get my point, man. You feel me? Y'all get my point. Them is classics. You ain't even a classic album. You ain't even gotta ask. You feel me? Now, do we got a classic? Do we got classic songs? Yeah. But one classic song, or even a few classic songs, don't make a whole body of work classic. That's what I'm basically saying. Do he got a legendary career? I will say I will have to give him the nod on having a legendary career. Because you can have a legendary career and not have a classic album. He definitely had moments. Working with Big. Just coming from that 90s era, the whole mixtape circuit joints. Like I said, working with Big. The versus battles. I won't say definitely, but I will say he had a legendary career thus far. You feel me? And he's in another thing. He's in a legendary group. He's in a legendary group. He's in the Locks. That's a legendary hip hop group, legendary rap group. So I could say he got a legendary career, but he don't got a classic album. Him solo. And the criteria that I interpreted, was solo career. Solo albums. Not as a group. Not as a group. Jada ain't got no classic albums. Now, if you wanna throw in the group efforts, the group albums, the Locks albums, like I said, they probably got that We Are the Streets and shit, probably a classic album. And I heard other people say that first joint was classic. Is it? Oh yeah, I'm sorry, it ain't Living Off Experience. It's Money, Power, Respect. It's Money, Power, Respect. And once again, another thing that contributes to Jada's legendary career, he was on not one but two legendary record labels, Bad Boy and Rough Riders. Both of them labels at some point was at the top of the game, man. Was at the top of the game. So definitely, once again, I can't say definitely, but he's having a legendary career. Once again, he had moments. Being on those two record labels, being with a legendary rap group, the Locks, dropping those legendary albums, We Are the Streets, Money, Power, Respect, legendary mixtape run. versus battles, even battles. See, I would say Siegel. Kiss and Siegel was legendary battle. But it's funny, and it'll fool you, because Jada, he moved like he got classics, and he's revered. Jada's held in a high regard. Like, he just streamed together several classics, and he get a lot of perks. He get a lot of perks as if he got classics. So Jada's kind of like an anomaly. You feel me? Yeah. Jada moves like he got classics, and he get a lot of passes. Classic passes that niggas with classic albums will get. He get a lot of passes. You feel me? And that might be because of the legendary career that he had. You feel me? That might be because, like I said, legendary, the mixtape run, the big versus battle. You know, holding his own with Big, songs like that with Big, on legendary record labels, Rough Riders, Bad Boys, you feel me? Legendary battles with Siegel, you feel me? So Jada is held in that regard as if he got classic albums. Once again, look at Beanie Siegel. And let me tell you this, classics don't mean it's gotta be corporate success by record sales. That ain't always classic. Sometimes that's a classic, but you got, look at the Purple tape. It didn't sell all these millions of albums. You feel me? But it had that street impact. It had the cultural impact, man. Sometimes the best way to figure out if something is a classic is the cultural impact. Cultural impact. Not always corporate sales. Not always corporate sales, but cultural impact. Beanie Siegel, the truth. The cultural impact. The cultural impact, not the corporate sales. But like I said, Jada get a lot of passes because he had a legendary career, and Jada had big records, great records. You feel me? The Y record, that was a big record with Anthony Hamilton. We gonna make it. These is big records. You feel me? So, but when it comes down to it, no, I don't think Jada had a classic album, man. You feel me? I don't think he had a classic album. Your boy charlesease. Subscribe, share, like. That's my time. Until next time, I'm out of a piece of dick. So I'll give Jada the nod and saying he had a legendary career, man. You feel me? I'll definitely give him the nod, but I don't think Jada, I know Jada ain't have no classic albums, man. No classic albums. When you think classic albums, you ain't even gotta think. Dang. When you think classic albums, you ain't even gotta think. You just know off rip, it's classic. Like I said, the Doggy Style, Nas, Illmatic, Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt. You feel me? Jay got a few. Some people say Nas got a few. Tupac, what? All Eyes on Me. Biggie might have had 2. You feel me? Ready to Die. Life After Death. You feel me? You ain't even gotta think. What eliminates you from having a classic album is when you think. If you gotta think about it, you already eliminated. You already eliminated if you gotta think about it. So yeah, man, but you know, that's my little take. Yeah, man. Interesting to see where this go, man. And shout out to Jada. You know, he in the podcast world now. You feel me? The mixtape run was crazy with the locks. You feel me? A lot of rappers is moving to the podcast world. You feel me? Let's be real. A lot of rappers who ain't got no motion, who ain't got no traction, is moving to the podcast world. We got to keep that shit real. You feel me? We don't see Jay, 50. We don't see Eminem. You feel me? None of the big dogs that we know that's still moving units entering the podcast realm. I don't know. It just is what it is. You feel me? Unless you independent. You feel me? Now, a nigga like Troy Ave, who always been independent, he could do what he want, doing what he want, and he getting the lion's share or all of the money. Different circumstances, man. Way different circumstances. Your boy charlesease, subscribe, share, like, everything you need to know. When you need to know it, that's my time. Until next time, I'm out of here. Peace, you dig?